Okay, in this video, what we are going to do is to solve equations by completing the square. There are many ways to solve equations, but this is just in particular using the technique of completing the square. Alright, so let's get to the first problem. We have three quadratic equations, and let's concentrate on the first quadratic equation, shall we? So the first quadratic equation is x squared minus 3x plus 2. So it is, let's rewrite it, x squared minus 3x plus 2. So that would be x squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the objective is to complete the square and give the solutions for this equation, this quadratic equation. And it may have, of course, it has two equations, two solutions. They may or may not be complex, but it doesn't matter. We are going to get it no matter what. So to complete the square, I do it in a different way. I just simply concentrate on the term with variables, and I write parentheses square minus parentheses squares. Always, no matter what. Just for the variables. Plus 2, I haven't included that 2, is equal to 0. And so, I write here x, then whatever sign that may be negative, so it be negative, and then half of the coefficient of x. Half of it would be 3 over 2. And whatever number I get here is translated into here. And that's it. We just completed the square. The rest is algebra. So let's get to work. It says x minus 3 halves square minus 3 square is 9, 2 square is 4, plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so let's gather and combine these terms. Notice that the denominator is 4, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 4 so that I have the same denominator. So that would be x minus 3 halves square minus 9 over 4. But what is 2 over 1? Is 8 over 4, isn't it? That's equal to 2, isn't it? And so, now I can say that this is this right here, which is equal to 0. I can see that this is equal to what? That part. Minus 1/4. Isn't it? So what do I have so far? X minus 3 halves square minus 1/4 is equal to 0. And so I send this to the other side. I would say x minus 3 halves square is equal to now positive 1/4. And gentlemen and ladies, I just finished completing the square in such a way that I can take the square root on the left and the square root on the right and be able to come up with two solutions. So let's do it. So that would be x minus 3 halves square is equal to 1/4. By taking the square root on the left side, I eliminate that square. Plus, minus, don't forget the plus, minus, is equal to the square root of 1/4. So, by taking the square root on the left, so I end up with x minus 3/2 is equal to plus, minus, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2, plus 1/2. And there it is. So I got me the first equation, the first solution is x is equal to, put these 3 halves over here, so it'll be 3 halves, positive now. Let's use the plus first, plus 1/2, and that gives me 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 halves or 2. So the first solution is x is equal to 2. What about the second solution? Well, we have here, from here, that we are going to be using the negative part now. So we say x is equal to 3/2, 3 halves, minus 1/2. And what is that? X is equal to 3 minus 1 is 2/2, so x is equal to 1. That's my second solution. So what's the solution to this set to this equation? It is simply 2 and 1. That gives me the solution to the first problem by completing the square. Alright, let's get down to the second problem. The second problem is x squared plus 6x is equal to 2. X squared plus 6x is equal to 2. So let's write down x squared plus 6x is equal to 2. We're going to complete the square of this equation. Notice that 2 is already on the right side. So what I do is I complete the square using only the variables. You remember how it is. It is. And that is, you can do this always or whenever you have a 1 as a leading coefficient. So we have parentheses square minus, always minus. Don't have to worry about it. Never a plus here, okay? So that would be parentheses square minus parentheses square. That is equal to 2. So what do we have? We have the x, of course. We have that sign is a plus, then it goes a plus here. And half of that coefficient, half of 6 is 3. And whatever you get here, it is exactly the same thing that you put here. So what do we have? We have x plus 3 squared minus 9 is equal to 2. Right, by translating that negative 9 to the other side, we end up with x plus 3 squared is equal to 9 plus 2. In other words, x plus 3 squared is equal to 11. Now, by taking the square root of both sides, don't forget, then we have what? We have that x plus 3 is equal to plus minus square root of 11. So one solution is, continuing here, x is equal to, by moving that 3 over the other side, that would be minus 3 Using the plus first, plus square root of 11. That's one solution. What's the other solution? Using the left. So x is the negative. Minus 3 minus square root of 11. So what's the solution set for this quadratic equation? It is simply minus 3 plus square root of 11, comma, and minus 3 minus square root of 11. And that's the solution set for the second problem using completing the square. Alright, let's go to the last problem. And that is, let's take a look. X squared minus 2x. Remember, we can solve this equation by factoring, but we are using the quadratic equation formula, but we are going to be using it completing the square. So x squared minus 2x, right? Okay. So let's do it. X squared minus 2x is equal to 0. As usual, leading coefficient is 1. Then we can say parenthesis square minus parenthesis square. Notice that it's always negative, no matter what. Whether that's negative or positive, it's always equal to 0. And we have then x, now minus here. So this one over here is whatever sign is here, positive, positive, negative, negative. But this one is always negative. Alright, let's continue. And then minus half of that, which is 1. And whatever we have here, whatever I end up with here goes here. And that's, I'm done. Let's see, an interruption there. Alright, so what we have is then x minus 1 square is equal to, moving this to the other side, 1. Taking the square root to both sides. And so what do we have? We have x minus 1 is equal to square root of 1 is 1 plus minus 1. Taking first the plus sign, so that will be x minus 1 is equal to 1. So we say that x, moving this one to the other side, that will be x is equal to 2. That's the first solution to this quadratic equation, using completing the square. Now we use the negative for the next solution. So what do we have? We end up with x minus 1 is equal to minus 1. Moving this negative to positive now, so it'll be x is equal to 1 minus 1. X is equal to 0. That's the second solution to this quadratic equation. Notice that all the equations have been real. We're going to get cases in which they are complex roots. We'll see that in a minute, in the next video. And so what do we have? We have that the solution set for these quadratic equations using completing squares is 2 and 0. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.